Yo, what's up, guys? Thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan Show video. I think that's the intro. I'm just gonna get right into it because we've just had like an insane week of wrestling. Obviously, you had Monday Night Raw, the first Raw of the year, and then you had the SmackDown on the road to Royal Rumble, the first one of the year overseas, which both shows had insane main events, and in the men's division, and major things happened on both shows. So I will talk l- logic. Is it logically or is it chronologically? I think that's the word. For what happens first. So obviously you had Monday Night Raw. That main event was, of course, CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, which was going into that match. I thought that was the most unpredictable match. I wasn't sure who was gonna win. I think I said in the end I might have said Braun Breaker just for the chaos, but it ended up being I was while watching it. It was so I couldn't choose. It kept you on your feet. I think the full match, which is really really good and really positive, because when you go into a match and you can already tell what the kind of focus is and what they're working towards and who's gonna win, it kind of loses the factor in that match or loses your kind of focus on the match. But when you're not sure who's gonna win because of what they're displaying in the ring, it's very positive and it's so much more enjoyable. And from that, I was so super unsure. And then obviously throughout the match, you had Braun Breaker, obviously the younger um, competitor, and obviously he's getting one over on CM Punk. But obviously CM Punk throughout the match showing his experience, showing how much of a veteran he is, and I think that is probably the leading reason why CM Punk ended up winning that match. Of course, you had the Vision come out, and I think a lot of people expected it to be a bit of a schmoz, or it was kind of going to be a case where they interfere, someone else interferes, and it ends up in disqualification where you don't lose. CM Punk doesn't lose, and Braun Breaker doesn't lose, but obviously the risk in that is that the actual crowd is going to lose because you're expecting something big, but in actual fact, it's just a disqualification. Now you have to wait all the way till next week, and you're not kind of anticipating. You're like, I have to wait now before we can get a real answer whether who's gonna win, CM Punk or Braun Breaker. So they came out, the Luchadors, Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee came out to confront them, which I think the way that they came out was really really good, and it made Penta look really strong as well. So I think a lot of people, it's going to be like expectation that is we're probably going to see a triple 3-on-3 tag team match in the near future where you got the Luchadors versus the Vision, which is going to be very interesting to see how that goes on and how they build towards that. But obviously we had the Vision, Luchadors came out, negated the Vision, and then it was back in Braun Breaker in the ring. I thought them keeping people on the edge was really really good, and them actually pushing the crowd as well. I think they really pushed it as well. So it was really, really enjoyed that match. And then in the end, because of CM Punk's experience, he was able to dodge that spear that Braun Breaker was wanting. He was attempting it multiple times, but he just couldn't get it done. If he did, I think that would have put the match away. That's why they kind of built it up to 1, 2, 3 spear. But if you can't get the spear, you don't get the 1, 2, 3. So CM Punk's winning. You had that amazing kind of moment where from the ring, all the way to the announce table for Braun Breaker, which is insane. I think that was one of the more positive things for Braun Breaker. I'm not too sure how they go about the future of the vision now. Obviously, it is the vision. The vision is the future. But how, in the next couple of weeks, how does the rest of the members in the vision kind of not deal with Braun Breaker, but kind of is that cohesiveness still there? Because before you had that cohesiveness, was they all built guys. They don't look out of place. They all look aligned. But if Braun Breaker loses, does that mean it's now Braun Breaker's turn, Austin Theory's turn, Logan Paul's turn now, or will that cause friction? That's going to be very interesting to see what goes on from there. I think there will be friction, but overall, Braun Breaker will come out on top. Is it going to be the Royal Rumble where he wins it? That is, I think that's a lot of people's big pick that it is going to be Braun Breaker that wins the Royal Rumble. Other things that happened on Raw, which were really, really good, you had, of course, the tag team match, the women's tag team match, where um, Rhea and Io won, which was a really good match. And I didn't, Loki, I thought Asuka and Kyrie would retain, but Rhea and Io with the tag team championships looked really good. So that was really nice to see. And what else happened on that show? I'm trying to think back. There's so much wrestling that happens that it's like sometimes it becomes a blur. So you had Rio, you had Becky Lynch winning back her Intercontinental Championship was really good. Made sense now that because it gave Maxine the highlight of it, but you want, I think, going into WrestleMania, you want Becky Lynch as your Intercontinental Champion. Um, I think that's a really marquee match, something that you can build towards. Moving on, obviously you had NXT. The main thing about NXT was, of course, Oba relinquishing the title, which was unexpected. I thought that he might keep it for a little bit longer and then maybe later on in the year. So you'll have the few people who from NXT get called up now, and then Oba alone on his ones as a big moment comes later on in the year. But I think next time we see Obafemi is going to be in the Royal Rumble. I think as a surprise is so much more effective than if you build towards you see Oba beforehand and then he goes into it because you already know for definite that maybe someone else is winning it. But if you go into the Royal Rumble and it's a surprise, he comes out at number 10, you're like, oh sugar, how the hell they gonna get rid of Obafemi? So I thought that match with Leon Slater was really, really nice, and the way they kind of they made Leon Slater look really good, and a lot of the shots in the match hurt me, man. Oba's just a dangerous wrestler, and definitely is one of those future wrestlers going forwards. Maybe someone to kind of negate Gunther. That's something that I did forget to mention. Gunther on Raw with AJ Styles. I didn't expect it to happen so soon, but I think based on my prediction that AJ Styles isn't going to be retired by Gunther, it makes sense to have it now. I don't think it's going to be at the Royal Rumble where we're going to see actually it's going to be AJ Styles versus Gunther on the next Raw. I forgot about that. So that's going to be very, very kind of interesting where you of course Gunther is gonna win, but how is he gonna win? Is he gonna completely demolish AJ Styles, or is it gonna be more sort of a really competitive match and Gunther just about wins it, or is it gonna be Gunther puts AJ Styles to sleep or maybe taps him out in the end? I'm very interested in that match because is very influential to AJ Styles as well as Gunther. Because if you're wanting to build Gunther as that monster for the future and that big villain, you can't have him lose after winning to AJ Styles, John Cena. So, but obviously this is AJ Styles' retirement year. Sometime this year he is gonna be retiring. So, how badly affected will he be if he does end up tapping out to Gunther? Of course, if it happens, he taps out. Not the end of the world for AJ Styles, but it will definitely be like a. I think that's probably what they're gonna go with, where AJ Styles, Gunther has to tap out AJ Styles. You could elongate it, so you could try and push it forward where AJ Styles loses, but Gunther isn't able to make him tap out. He has to pin him, and that kind of pushes Gunther to a point where he's like, "But you didn't make him tap out," and then you've got something for Gunther to do before the Royal Rumble. Before we get to the Royal Rumble, he's got something to do. So that could be very, very interesting way of kind of doing it. And then obviously at the end, SmackDown, which was an insane show. I thought the crowd at the beginning of the show was a little bit quieter, but definitely picked up at the end. I think what people are talking about is that main event controversial, I think, but I'm very happy with how it kind of finished. I was looking for that chaos. We getting that chaos on SmackDown. I think a lot of people is kind of already saying it's going to be Cody at WrestleMania, but now this puts a spanner in that work or in that story where maybe it isn't going to be Cody at WrestleMania. Does he need to fight his way back? And then, because he's lost because of the interference with Jacob Fatu. Before we get to that, obviously building up the matches, you had obviously the normal match, and then you had the Falls Count Anywhere match. I definitely thought the three stages of hell was okay. It really it was really really good in the steel cage. I think the first two matches were kind of as extras. They were a little bit, let's get this over and done with so we could get to the steel cage. But then once they got into the steel cage, it was so super super competitive. You were unsure. There was so much spots it felt uncomfortable watching, and you were like, how the hell is Cody gonna lose? How the hell is Drew McIntyre gonna lose? Is it gonna be a pinfall? Or I tend to like it where in a steel cage match is when they actually leave the steel cage. I don't like it when they pin because it's kind of like you've got that mechanism in place. So I feel like it's kind of useful to be put in there. You can lose a high pinfall in any other match, but in this steel cage match, you've got that stipulation where if you're first one to leave the steel cage wins it. So, and that's how Drew McIntyre won. But of course, the reason why he won was because of the return of Jacob Fatu, who beat the breaks out of Drew McIntyre. For some reason, he's attacked Cody's, but so I'm not sure. I don't believe that it was Drew McIntyre who attacked Jacob Fatu because obviously his kind of character is he tells the truth, he manipulates the truth. So maybe he didn't attack Jacob Fatu. It could be the case where he maybe watched someone do it and he knows who actually attacked Jacob Fatu. That could be very, very, very kind of interested to see what he kind of how they play it out because I don't think it's Drew McIntyre. But why would if it's not Drew McIntyre, why would Jacob Fatu attack um, Drew? Maybe a reason why is because Drew knows who attacked Drew McIntyre. Who knows he knows who attacked Jacob Fatu, and the reason why Jacob Fatu is attacking Drew McIntyre and he didn't care about Cody Rhodes is because he's trying to find out exactly who it was, because Drew McIntyre knows because maybe he was there at the moment. That could be very cool to see. But I'm very happy for Drew. The crowd was very Drew favored on Drew. A lot of the times, it's very interesting to see how crowds react with Cody Rhodes, because you have one show where he gets the loudest pop and people are singing his song, but then you've got other matches or other shows where he gets booed quite. You can actually hear it. So a lot of time people do get booed, but you can't actually hear it. But with obviously um, Cody Rhodes, you can actually hear it. So that's going to be very important, I think, going future, especially when you are going to be building towards that eventual heel turn in the next couple of years. I don't think it is going to be anytime soon. Other things that happened on SmackDown, you had the return of Matt Cardona, which is, I liked how they've done that, and obviously you've got the not fatal four, but the tournament for the WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre's championship. So it kind of having that in place for it to finish in the Royal Rumble, it takes Drew McIntyre out of the Royal Rumble. It also takes someone else out of the Royal Rumble, but it also puts Cody Rhodes into the Royal Rumble, which I think he is going to be in there for the. I think it's his third Royal Rumble since he's returned, and is he going to make 3-3, or is it going to be this is the one that he loses? More than likely, he probably gonna lose this Royal Rumble. But if he ends up in it, maybe he wins the championship back before then, which is unexpected. But stranger things have happened in wrestling. But people in that tournament, you've got Miz and Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton. I would love for Miz to win because of some outside interference. But it probably is going to be Randy Orton, especially since he's just returned. You've got Solo versus Damian Priest, which is, I think that's where Damian Priest wins because he's been built so much. That's a bit of an interesting match because they are currently in. I don't think the feuds are finished with Damian Priest and with Solo. Maybe they are, but it's more likely that the White Six gets involved and it causes Solo to lose, then Aleister Black gets involved to cause Damian Priest to lose. But obviously, you got to think about what Aleister Black said, which was that whether he wins or loses is not over. So that's a bit of a interesting one to see. But I think I want Solo to win, but I think it's gonna be Damian Priest who's gonna go forward. You've got Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov, which they're gonna run that back, which is gonna be an insane match, especially in that London crowd. That's gonna be 10-10. Hopefully, that's one of the last matches of the night because it deserves to be, and it will definitely blow the roof off. You have who is Matt Cardona facing? Trick Williams. Yes, it. Obviously, you had Trick Williams make his debut, which currently he's looking like a star. He's looking 10-10. They're building him very positively, very as a main competitor. So that's really. I like how they've done that. They've not put him mid card. They've given him the push a little bit. Um, and then him versus Matt Cardona. More than likely, I'm gonna say Trick wins because yeah, I think Trick wins because him losing currently now doesn't make sense for his kind of storyline being built up. But Matt Cardona maybe losing, and that pushes him towards someone else where he can start a feud with someone else. Maybe the Miz. That could be the way you go, so that you're kind of utilizing the utilizing Matt Cardona, but Trick Williams doesn't lose any of that momentum that he's currently building because the crowd is chanting his name and it gets louder and louder and louder. So those are the four I think is going to win. Trick Williams, Randy Orton, Damian Priest, and I didn't say who's going to win with Sami and Ilya. I would say I would like to see Ilya to win. I'm going to go with Ilya because I would like to see Sami Zayn crash out. And I think the way you do that is you put him in lots of kind of ways to the WWE Championship, but he can't even pass that checkpoint. It's a case where he loses in this tournament, he loses at the Royal Rumble, he loses at the Elimination Chamber if he's in it, and it's just loss after loss. He gets close, tries to get close, he loses for whatever reason, and maybe we can build towards maybe a Sami heel turn in the future. That's overall what's going on wrestling. Really, really enjoyed this week. Really, really positive. I'm thinking of maybe doing a video. I'm gonna try to get it set up, but maybe doing like a pack over opening One Piece, because I haven't done that in a while. Normally I do it on every video, but for quite a few videos I haven't been doing it. So maybe once a week, maybe we open a One Piece pack because I'm opening them. So maybe as a video we can do it all together. That could be a very interesting thing to do. But thank you again for watching. Leave a like if it was good, leave a dislike if it was bad, and peace.